Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabelle Knight. I am a young writer and the middle grade fantasy author of the Enchantria series. And today I am going to be vlogging the process of me writing a short story as I attempt to write a Christmas short story to submit to a writing contest. So yeah, so let's get on with the video then. Okay, so I mentioned in some of my previous videos that I was going to be trying to enter some more writing competitions, and there was this writing competition that was hosted by some organization, and it was basically a time travel short story competition. The deadline was September 30th, and I unfortunately did not get to submit a short story to that, mainly because I didn't really find the time to, and so yeah, I was not able to submit a short story to that competition. But I did recently find out about another writing competition, and this one is hosted by a book blogger, and the theme of this short story contest is Christmas. And so I was so excited to hear that because I love Christmas. It's only October right now, but the deadline is November 28th, but I already have this idea that I really want to write, and so this short story is definitely giving me a good excuse to listen to Christmas music in October. But yeah, I do have multiple short story ideas, but I finally decided to settle on just one. And that short story idea is basically based on this sort of Russian folktale that I heard when I was really little. It has a name, but I know I would completely butcher the pronunciation of it, so I'm just going to go with the other name of it, and that is this, I think, the Snow Maiden, I believe. And it is basically this folktale about a woman and basically a couple, and one day they build a snow girl, and that snow girl comes alive, I guess, and so she comes to life, and in the end of the short story she's playing with the other children, and they are there's a game where they're leaping over the fire, and she leaps over the fire, but because she is made of snow, she basically melts, and all that is left of her is one single snowflake. And that is how the story ends. This is a very brief summary of the story, but that is the version that I heard when I was really little, and so it is the version that I'm going to be sort of trying to put a slight twist on with my short story. It's honestly kind of hard to explain my short story idea, but yeah, so that is what my short story is going to be based on, and I'm actually going to be writing this short story out on paper because for some reason I really like to write short stories down on paper. And also the word count for this, the word count limit is 5,000 words, and I feel writing things down on paper, my short stories are always much shorter on paper, whereas when I'm typing on a computer, I tend to ramble on a lot, and my supposedly 2,000 word short story somehow, I don't know, becomes 10,000 words, and writing things down on paper just, really helps keep things more concise, I guess. And so, yeah, that is what I am going to be trying to focus on today. I'm going to try to keep my short story under the 5,000 word limit, which might not be this hard. I don't think it's a very long short story, but you know, as I've said, I tend to ramble on a lot. So, yeah. I actually do already have like a part of this short story already written out, and hopefully you can't read all of this, but this is basically what I have written out so far, and I'm going to be writing the first draft on paper and then editing it on the computer. And so, as you can see, I currently have like a page of this written, and some of the prose doesn't make any sense at all, but it is a first draft, so it does not have to make sense. So yeah, I suppose that's my intro, and I should probably get started with this writing vlog. I don't know how long it will take me to finish this short story, but I am going to try and, I don't know, finish this while vlogging. I am not ending this vlog until I finish my short story, because I keep procrastinating writing, and hopefully vlogging this is going to keep me accountable. So, yeah, I shall update you guys on this short story later. Hello everyone. So it is now like, what is it? Right now it's like 3:56. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like 3:56 right now, nearly 4 p.m. And I have not finished my short story at all. Like when I started filming, it was like 1 or 2 or something, and like I have been kind of distracted. But also, it's been going a bit slower because I am writing the short story like down on paper, not on the computer. And basically, I now have, I guess, like 1.5 pages written, which I think is still pretty good. And I really love this story so far. Like, it basically starts with like a mother and a daughter in like, it's Christmas in London. And basically, the daughter asks her mother about her name. Like, the daughter's name is Snow, which is not at all a common name. And I guess, like, her mother answers that, and the way she answers that is, like, a whole sort of story about, like, about something that I guess sort of happened in her past when she was, like, a kid, and that, I don't know if this makes any sense, but that sort of influenced, like, that's why she gave her daughter the name Snow, and it basically, from then on, like, sort of shifts to the mother's story of, like, when she was a kid, and she, it's really hard to explain, and I am a pantser, so I don't even know what is going to really happen next in this short story, but so far I'm really happy with this. I just got started with, like, the mother, like, telling the story, and I just, like, the starting paragraph, I really, really like this, and it basically sort of says, a long time ago, there lived a girl. Her eyes were bright green, sparkling with emeralds, her pale skin dotted with freckles, and her brown hair was always tied in a ratty braid. She was the kind of girl who was always a little wild, a little strange, and if you were to speak to her for a little more than 2 minutes, you'd surely notice something odd about her. And so it's basically kind of like this sort of fairy tale-esque beginning, I guess, and I don't know if that was good or not, but this is like a first draft, so we can always revise. But yeah, I have been working on this. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the first draft today. I would really, really love to, and then I could sort of revise this short story tomorrow, but also part of me wants to work on my current work in progress, which I'm not going to tell you anything about, except the only clue you get is watches, and that's it. That's what my work in progress is about. No, not about, but that's your clue. And so I kind of want to work on my work in progress, on my WIP, my novel, but also I really want to get the first draft of this short story done. So we will see, I guess. I've also been reading a lot, and one of the books I have been reading is The Last Bear by Hannah Gold. This is a middle grade book. I'm technically rereading it, and I just really, really love the story and the feeling of it. And so I think I might try for something similar in my short story, something really heartwarming, a fun adventure. But I also know mine's probably going to be a little bit darker and with more magic and stuff. So yeah, I am definitely intrigued to see where this short story goes. Again, I've only just started the mother's childhood story, and so we will see where this goes. But yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on this short story, and yeah, so maybe when I return to film another update, the short story will be done. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah. Is now nighttime. Right now it's 9:15. I don't know if you guys can see that, but basically it's been a whole day, and I did not in fact finish this short story today, which so I guess you can see that I'm not a very, I don't know, prolific, or I don't write. I'm a slow writer. This is, I think, one of those days when I'm definitely a slow writer. Also, I do think I definitely write a bit more when I'm not vlogging. But I did manage to write quite a bit, especially considering that I was just writing on hand and on paper, and I also spent around 25 minutes working on my WIP. And so yeah, I only got probably a few hundred words for my work in progress. I don't know how many words I got for my short story, but I probably will know when I type it up. So basically this is currently what we have. And I'm not sure what part of the story I'm at. This could be Act 2, I think. I don't know, because I'm a pantser, so I don't really know where the story is going to go. But basically, I've decided for this story, the main character, in the story, the mother is telling her daughter, the main character, basically, she doesn't have a best friend, and so one day she goes out to make a sort of snowman, only it is a snow girl, basically a human sort of sculpture made out of snow. So my original idea for this was to have that snow girl come to life. I'm not sure what's going to happen once she comes to life, but I only know that she is going to come to life. And yeah, so that is currently where I am at right now. And I'm not really sure if I will be able to work on this short story tomorrow, because tomorrow I really would like to actually work on my work in progress. But I definitely would like to work on this short story some more and get it ready before the deadline. And I know the deadline's still a while away, it's November 28th, but I really don't want to procrastinate and end up missing the deadline like I did last time. So yeah, I probably will try to work on this in the morning. And I'm not sure how this short story is going to end. I know that this short story is going to be based on that Russian folktale, and in the end of that Russian folktale, the snow girl, the snow maiden, basically leaps over a fire and she disappears, and all that is left of her is a single snowflake. And I kind of want to do that here, she wouldn't be like leaping over a fire or anything, but I do think that I would like have this snow girl like disappear at the end of the story. I'm not sure what would happen to her, but I think my idea is basically going to be like she's like at the end of Christmas she sort of disappears, and so that is the only thing I know about the end. And I guess the rest I shall have to wait and see, I don't know, like where the story goes. So I think for tonight I'm just going to work on my work in progress for a bit, and I shall catch up with you guys tomorrow in the morning or in the afternoon or whenever I start working on this short story again. Alright, it is now day 2 of trying to work on this Christmas short story in October, and to be honest, it is kind of weird working on a Christmas short story in October, I will say that, because like I'm kind of in a Christmas mood, but also it's only October, so it feels kind of wrong. But I do wish Christmas were here already because it is one of my favorite holidays, and yeah, but I mean, this short story is definitely giving me a very good excuse to listen to Christmas music in October. And to be honest, by now, I'm not sure how Christmassy this short story is. Like, it takes place on Christmas Eve, and like, it takes place during Christmas, and it has snow and all that, but I feel like it focuses more on like snow magic, I guess. I guess I'm sort of in Act 2 in this short story now. And let's see where I left off. Basically, like the main character is a girl in like the childhood story has basically finished building the snow girl, and she goes home, and then there's this line that is sort of telling us what is happening, what is happening after the girl has gone home, and it basically sort of hints at what is going to come next. And so I'm not sure what is going to happen next right now. And yesterday night I also had a thought that maybe like there should be some sort of crisis or some sort of problem, I guess, because like every story does need a problem. And so I feel like technically yes, I could write it like without that like crisis or problem and have it just be this magical story. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like I could like include like a crisis or a problem, and it might help more, like it might add more to the story. But I'm not sure how to go about it because like it only came to me last night, and throughout this whole like Act 1 there has been like no foreshadowing at all. Like no foreshadowing at the crisis or problem at all. And so I'm definitely going to have to fix that in editing if I do choose to add a problem or crisis or whatever. But yeah, that is kind of where I am at now. And today I'm not sure how much I'll be able to work on this short story because I really would like to work on my work in progress, which is, I don't know if I should give it like a project name or not, but I suppose a project name for this project might be Project Clock or Watches, I guess. But yeah, I do kind of want to work on my work in progress, and so I think I might focus mostly on that today, but I'm going to try and maybe get Act 2 of this short story down. but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. But I really would like to have this short story done by tomorrow night, and then like be able to start editing it and revising it and all of that and submit it to the contest. So yeah, I guess we shall see. I shall update you guys on how this goes a bit later. Hello everyone, it is now almost around 5 o'clock. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, it's like around 5 o'clock right now, and I think I'm almost done with my short story. I think. I honestly was not expecting it to be this short, but to be honest, I think this kind of is a shorter story, and it's kind of like more of a folktale. You know, it is based on a folktale, and so it's written very much like a fairy tale or a folktale. And so, yeah, it is much shorter than I was expecting, and I also decided that, like, I'm not going to include, like, the problem or crisis, because I don't think it really fits into the story. I could make it fit by rewriting a bit and adding foreshadowing, but I feel like that's not really the vibes that I'm going for, and I think it might complicate the story a little bit. And so it's really hard to explain, like, the structure of the story, but I don't think this is, like, the usual, like, 3-act story structure with, like, an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and climax and all of that. It's really, really hard to explain, but, you know, once the story is finished and it ends up either getting published on the book blogger's blog if I win the contest, or my blog if I don't, then you will be able to read it and you will know, like, what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think I am getting really close to finishing this story, and so I am really excited about that. I also worked on my work in progress for a little bit, and I can't share too much about it because I feel like I work best when, like, there's, like, when my work in progress is just kept secret and there's, like, it's just me, nobody else knows about it, and so there's not really as much pressure. But yeah, I worked on that for a little bit. I added around 700 words, but I've mostly just been working on this short story, and I am almost done, and once I'm done, I will have to type it out and let the editing commence. But yeah, I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, I could potentially finish this short story today and spend tomorrow editing it and then submitting it to the contest. So yeah, we will see how it goes. It is now pretty late now. I think it's around 11 p.m. But I did it. So I somehow managed to finish the first draft of my short story, and here I have written the end, which I am super excited about. To be honest, again, this is like a first draft, and I'm also kind of reluctant to say I'm done with the story, because honestly I'm not, and there's so much editing to do, and I know there's so much I need to polish, and there's a lot that probably needs to be rewritten, and I literally used so many placeholders towards the end. But the first draft is done now, but, like, again, it's just a first draft, and part of me thinks, like, this story is, like, really bad, to be honest, because I don't know what to think of it yet, and, you know, it is still a first draft, and there's still a lot that needs to be changed, and I know for a fact that one thing that probably will have to be changed is, like, including more Christmas elements, because I started out this short story as, like, a Christmas short story, but I feel like it's kind of not so much of a Christmas short story and more of like a winter short story, and the theme of the contest is Christmas, and so I'm going to try and add some like more elements of Christmas, but that will definitely wait for the day after tomorrow. So I think tomorrow I'm just going to let this sit, work on my work in progress for a bit, and also hope that like the story I wrote isn't completely terrible, because I feel like it kind of has a good idea, but I feel like it does need a lot more foreshadowing in like Act 1, and then I kid you not, I really did use so many placeholders, and there's like one really important conversation towards the end that I didn't know how to write, and so I decided to just leave it to editing me and just added insert conversation here in parentheses. So yeah. But yeah, so the first draft of this story is done, so that is really great. Tomorrow I will probably work on my work in progress for a bit, and I suppose I shall see you the day after tomorrow to, I suppose, let the editing commence. Alright, so it has been a little while since I checked in with you guys, and I've come to realize that I think I do need to let this short story sit for a lot longer than I originally thought. At first, I thought I would take like a 1-day break and then come back to revising it. However, I have come to realize that I think I do need to set aside this short story for a bit longer than that, maybe like 2 weeks or something. For me, it's usually around 1 month to 3 months for novels. I haven't written that many short stories, so I honestly don't know how long my short stories usually need to sit before revision, but yeah, so I'm probably going to let this short story sit for a few weeks before coming back to it and revising it, and possibly doing a rewrite, but I'm not sure, and then submitting it to the Christmas short story contest. So I fear I probably have to end the vlog here. I know I said I would be editing this short story, but this short story has turned out to be much more troublesome to edit, and I do think it needs more time to sit. So I am ending the vlog here. I might film a future vlog where I'm like editing the short story. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to see that. But yeah, I suppose this wraps up this vlog of me writing the first draft of a Christmas short story in October. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I really hope you enjoyed this video and sort of seeing my short story writing process, I suppose, or at least part of it, since I haven't started editing the story. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and also let me know down in the comments if you would like to see a future vlog where I'm like editing this short story, or, you know, just to share some of your own writing updates. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and I suppose I shall see you in the next video. Alright, bye!